Well, today is the day we're going to start work on the interior cabinetry of the Ultimate Mobile Workshop. And this morning I'm focusing on the curbside workbench that's going to hold the miter saw, the drill press, and the drawers that can be accessed from inside or outside of the trailer. Alright, I've got the panels for my cabinet cut. Now the critical part of this build are the dados. The bottom of the drawers make up the slides themselves. I'm basing this design off of Ron Paulk's mobile wood shop because I think he knows better than I do. So I've got my dado set over here. I just have to get it set up here and do a couple test cuts, and we'll see if we can get it dialed in. Okay, those are looking good. Really regretting my choice of plywood. I bought the premium stuff, but it's still just chipping out all over the place in here. Alright, so we've got the first obstacle to overcome here. Turns out the walls are not perfectly square with the floor, so you end up with this gap, which would normally be a problem. You just shim it up, but I've made this perfectly high so that when I put my top on, it's flush with this window. So now if I add this, everything's going to be a different height. This will be higher than this. This will be higher than that. So what I think I'm going to have to do is scribe the bottom there and then cut it with a circular saw. All right, when we left off yesterday, I had finished these two cabinets. I have them tied into the wall so that they are perfectly centered, and I even made one drawer off camera when it was raining just to see how they work. So instead of making all the drawers next, I'm going to make the shelf that connects these two together so that everything is much more secure, and then I can increase my tolerances for each drawer to make them perfect to what it's actually going to be. Well, it doesn't matter how much SketchUp you do if you're just an idiot and you make everything an inch too short. Well, round two went much better. All I had to do was just trim everything up by about an inch and then put it all together. There you go. Beautiful. These are working perfectly. I must just have this perfectly square because they just slide great. Really happy with how it's turning out. Cabinet drawers slide out just like they should. Now we're going to make this part and this drawer here so that we can actually put our top on. Okay, a couple of issues. This window is not perfectly square in the trailer, so it looks like no matter what I do here, I'm going to have a very small reveal of the bench on this side and a slightly larger one down here. I've got these cut, fit just nicely. I got everything cut out, round, all little nooks and crannies. Turned out awesome. Here's where we're at. We've got the drawers done. They still need sanded and finished, but they're still working great. They slide really nice. But there's two problems. One, there's no home position because they slide both ways. So as you can see, second, there's no stop for these drawers. And because they're short, I can tell someone's gonna come here and like try and pull them out too far. My idea is to come on over here. Take a bolt and thread the inside of the drawer here with just a 3/8 bolt. And then with the router, cut another groove in the side of the cabinet so that once you slide this in, you can kind of reach in there and then twist that bolt in so that it sticks out just a 1/4 of an inch or so into that little groove, and then it'll have a stop. All I do is I take my little jig here with the router, put it in the groove, slide it all the way out the back, and stop flush with the front. Wouldn't you know it, drawer stops. I think I may put this in one of my top 5 ideas of all time. Well, it took someone coming to look at the problem to come up with a brilliant idea for this. My friend Shane, if you remember, we built the rolling toolbox in his pickup truck several months back. He said, why don't you just get the French door adjustable ball clasps? And boy, does it work great. They home just like you would hope. Pretty locked in. Just a little tug though, and they come right out. All you have here are just one of those little ball clasps. And then for each one below it, I just have a little hole drilled right here that catches the ball. So as you push it in, now I want to go through and sand all the drawers and the tops, grease everything up, and then if some are still not working exactly as I would like, I can go through and tweak. Well, Hurricane Matthew is officially on the way, so this is gonna have to do it for this week, but I am delighted, I will say, with how these turned out. They all slide very smooth after sanding and putting paste wax on all of them, and they all find home base really nice. It's just a couple of adjustments I may need to do. Was it over here? No, these all look pretty good. You can see pretty flush. I could adjust a couple of those in a little more. I also got this trim that I'm gonna run all the way around the bases and in the corners over here like that, cover up some of those gaps. Of course, they work just as well inside as they do outside. Open up, they look fantastic. And then you just pull them out, grab what you want, push it back in, and it just finds home base, you see? Even if you wiggle it around. And then this little bay here turned out to be the little sleeper of this whole project. It was so nice yesterday when it started raining to just throw all my tools in here and just to have a place that's outside of the trailer. I was out here under the awning and just, it was raining, but I could put everything away. And then without really cleaning up, I kind of cleaned up and then just close it up and I was good to go. If I could do it over again, first thing I would do would be use better quality plywood. I bought the premium stuff, but apparently import is import. I should have paid the extra money for domestic. I figured that having these too tight would be more of a problem than too loose. Well, that's not really the case, because as they come out, if they have that wiggle room, it just kind of ruins the experience just a little bit. So if I was just a 30-second longer on all these, I think they'd go just a little bit straighter. One thing I could definitely get OCD about is when you close this door. If you close it, it's no problem. But if you slam it and then open this up, it pops this second from the bottom drawer in a little bit, and it doesn't bounce back. If I wanted to, I could just pop that corner of this cabinet out a 1/16 of an inch again and solve that problem, or I could just be fine closing it softly, and if it does pop out, it's not the end of the world. Next week, we're going to be building the power tool cabinets up here and our main workbench up in the V-nose, and then transfer some of our tool wall holders to the wall. And of course, this week we want to thank Lark United Manufacturing, who provided us with this trailer. They have out-of-the-box designs and from the ground up, custom designed anything that you want. They can build it. LarkUnited.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.